Hi guys. These notes are finding point of intersection. They should go into your notebook. So you want to put your page number at the top. And then what we'll do is put, these are 3.5, finding points of intersection. Okay. These also, you want to put that in your table of contents. So to start with, finding point of intersection, we talked about that when we did Max and Austin. Let's say that we have a couple other people that are doing a walking race. Let's say that we have student one um, was given the equation y equals 10x plus 25. And then let's say student two was given the equation y equals negative 2x plus 37. And we'll kind of talk about if these plans make sense or if they don't make sense, looking at their slopes, or not their slopes, but their rate of changes and y-intercepts. So to begin with, I'm going to have you grab a color here. I'm going to grab blue, looks good. This 10 next to the variable x, we know this is the rate of change because it's next to the variable. So in other words, this person is walking 10 meters per second. I'm going to grab a different color, maybe the red, and highlight this number without the variable. This is your y-intercept, your starting amount. So in other words, a head start. So maybe they got a head start of 25 meters. I'll just do HS for head start. Okay, so student number two, if I go back to my blue number, the rate of change, the coefficient is negative, which doesn't make much sense because they're kind of working backwards, but apparently they're doing negative 2 meters per second, or they're taking 2 meters away, walking backwards 2 meters, doesn't quite make sense. Looking at this red one now, so the number without the variable is your y-intercept, the starting amount. So this person did start with a head start of 37 meters. We'll do HS for head start. Okay, so now that we understand what these plans are doing, we would kind of like to look at their tables. What does their graph look like? Answer some questions about that. So right now, just to recap, the number next to the variable was their coefficient, their rate of change, telling you how fast they're going. The number without the variable is your y-intercept. Same thing over here. This one has a negative rate of change, but it does have a positive head start, a positive starting amount, a positive y-intercept. All right, so let's take a look at student one's table. And look at their time, call X. And their distance, Y. I'm going to go by ones in the X up to 9 or so. And the Y, let's take a look at the equation. All right, so if this person walks 0 meters, or has 0 seconds, excuse me, this person has a head start of 25. So I'm going to put a 25 in here. And then every second after that, we go 10 more meters. So then it'd be 35. 10 more would be 45. 10 more would be 55. Up to 115. Okay, so describing this as y increases, by 10, x increases by 1. And so this shows that this is definitely a linear relationship because we do have that constant increase every single time. All right, let's look at student 2. And again, we'll go up to 9 or so. All right, so this person started with 37, but was taking 2 away every single time. So 2 meters went away. 35, 33, 31. And then 19 for 9. Okay, so to describe this as y decreases by 2, x increases by 1. And we did talk about that we can have a constant decrease as long as it's consistent. We do have a linear relationship. So what we're then going to do is take a look at our graph for these two. So I'm going to set up a little graph. Okay. Make this a little taller here. Looks like we have to go all the way up to 115 on our y. Oh no, we can see so 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 110. Okay, I think we can go by tens. And then this one would be 120. And then we do have to go all the way up to 9, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We can go up to 10. All right, and then we're going to pick a color for one of our students. I'll pick red for one of them. And if we look at the first student's table, the first number would be 025. So here's 25, so I'll put a big fat dot there. At 1, it was 35. 2, it was 45. 3, it was 55, and so on and so forth. All right, and looks like we are going in a straight line. We do have a linear relationship for this guy, so I'm just going to draw a line through them. And then I'm going to pick a different color for student number 2. I'll do blue. The blue one was at 37, so it's a little closer to the 40. At 1, it was 35. At 2, it was 33, so a little bit above this one. At 3, it was 31. Oh, a little bit. Probably should move that up just a smidge. Okay, but it looks like we are going down in kind of this direction here. All right. So we can actually see there is a point of intersection where the two equations have the exact same time, the exact same location. So I'm going to have you grab your pencil color, and I'm going to have you circle this. This is your point of intersection. Very important point. We can also talk about solutions. Okay, so maybe if I put down here is 565 a solution to one of those students? So if we go back to our table here, 565. Okay, so at 5, it was 75 here, so that one doesn't work. And then at 5, it was 27, so that one doesn't work. So no, 565 is not a solution to either student. But the big one here is we do want to look at our point of intersection. And our job today is to see, is there an easier way than to make a table or to graph it to find that point of intersection? But first of all, let's define point of intersection, otherwise known as break-even points. So we're going to highlight this. Okay, break-even point is the solution. And let's look at solution. What does that mean? Oops, not what I wanted there. Highlight. Okay. Solution is the value of x or any other variable that they want to use that makes the equation true. We like to call this the point of intersection. Another word that we're going to be using is called the break-even point. I'll highlight that. The point where two equations are the same. Or we also call it in Algebra 1 the solution to the system. Or in our case, where the two students are equal. All right, I'm going to stop here for right now, and then we'll kind of get into solving equations and what kind of solutions we might get into without graphing or without finding the table. But if we take a look at this, the point of intersection where these two graphs are the same is at this point right here. And this point is at 135, it looks like. And if you look at your table, both of these students at 1, they have 35. So very important point, but it was a lot of work to set up these tables and the graph. So I'm hoping there's a way we can set up an equation to do that and solve like with our money bag problems. Okay, so we'll come back in part 2 here in just a second.